What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. We've got our terraforming done. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was actually quite a bit of work. There was a lot on top of our base. But we've got our new area. We've got a whole new layer on top of the base. That is going to be solely for any systems, for auto crafting, for the crafting, storage, and CPUs and stuff like that. I've also changed this corner a little bit. I had all this stuff here before, and I added all of our ores and stuff on, or our ingots and stuff onto it, but I had to change it because otherwise this was literally right up against the block. I was like, okay, let's change that a little. Also, I don't know why, but Kyle has been really taking a fascination with our roots set up over there. He's been there for 3 real-time days and hasn't moved. I pushed him out over towards that doorway, and he went right back. Whatever, buddy. Anyways, we did a whole bunch of terraforming. We added a whole nother layer to the base, and I have added some green space. So we have a little bit of a garden area out here. I wanted to add a little bit of color. So it all wraps around. I've got our solar and lunar panels kind of hidden away in here, just for little pops of color all around the place. And this is a somewhat naturally grown spruce tree. I figured out how that arboreal extractor works. So it requires a naturally grown log to be against it, and then it can like extract the resin from it. So what I did was I dug this down a little bit, planted a tree, got it to grow. Had to dig all this up to get it to grow, but I got it to grow, and then I just moved all the leaves up and just extended the trunk up there. But I have the arboreal extractor down here into a tank with a storage bus. We have more resin than we will use for a long time. Oh, there we go. We've got our green space out here. Eventually, I will be building off this way for a roots area that is going to have the totemic totems. The only part of totemic I want to keep around is the totems themselves. And that is because we have this medicine bag, which I can apply one of them to. Some of them, like the one I have, Pig, gives you luck. Other ones, like, I think it's Bat, negates fall damage. Some of them actually can be useful. Yeah, Bat negates fall damage and lets you jump further when you sneak mid-air. So you can actually, like, climb up in the air. It's kind of cool. Blaze, fire resistance, always useful when playing in the nether. Buffalo makes you faster, or makes you mine faster. Cow gives you resistance to damage, but also slows you down. Enderman gives you night vision. That could be useful. Horse gives you a speed boost, prevents creepers from exploding. Not allowed on the medicine bag, so I'm not worried about that. It gives you good luck. Gives you jump boost, lets you climb walls like a spider. Gives you water breathing, and gives you strength. So yes, some of those could be very useful. I will be setting up some totems with those to try to be able to just walk up, swap out what's in the bag, and let it charge up a little bit before we go on our way. For the rest of today, I have been crafting like crazy. I will show you there's a little corner that I've added a few things onto. So all of our machines here are backlogged. I think this one is the only one that isn't. But everything else is backlogged. All of this stuff is backlogged. Like, everything is full. With the exception of these two at the top, because I just added those like an hour and a half ago. But I added this little corner over here, and yes, I know I can get better cobble generation from a transfer node. I'm not worried about it. Because as much time as I spend between videos, I will have near infinite cobble almost all the time. Plus, I can put augments to speed this up. And it's free. It doesn't use the lava. It doesn't use the water. It's just connected to water. I've also added, there is snow here. The auto crafts. Let's see. As I was saying, I've got snow, I've got stone, I've got mossy stone, which I've just been grabbing a stack of cobblestone from here once in a while. All it costs is water and a fluid transposer, a little bit of power, and you get mossy stone. Which I probably don't need to automate, but you know what? It's essentially free. And I actually do need the terra moss for roots. I also have this complicated setup over here. So I have this producing marble, which is the underground biomes marble. Is the only craftable one like this, which goes into a analog crafter, which produces chiseled marble by crafting it as a 3x3, which then pushes it down into an auto chisel that gives me my marble bricks that I'm using everywhere. So I have an infinite supply of that. I do have a chest back here with a bunch of diamond chisels in it. That's probably more chisels than we will use the entire series, but I will never have to think about that again. And if mine ever breaks, which I think mine did, no, there it is. Mine actually did break, so I had to grab another one. Which is what made me decide to do that. I don't think we'll need it for too much, but Oh, actually we'll need it for the basalt pillars. But yeah, we added a whole new area up top. I've called it ME Systems. It is currently empty. And we're not going to use it anytime soon. It's purely going to be for once we get to down here and we get all the auto crafting and stuff. Today, I want to get a little bit of a push into here. Now to get into here, we need a couple of things. And one of those things involves the enhanced machine chassis, which those are a mess of their own. I have crafted so many of these machine blocks. So steel casings, I have 62 of them in here. I have 63 machine blocks, 58 machine frames, I have 64 simple machine chassis, and I have 32 industrial machine chassis, as well as 32 soul machine chassis. I spent so long crafting all of that. It's insane. I would like to have that stuff automated at some point. I will probably set them up with some automations once we actually have auto crafting or once we have interfaces, because it'll be easier to set up. Or to just keep us a buffer of a single stack of each machine frame level. Because some of the machines like these I actually do still use, and I can use more of them to upgrade them. These guys we're obviously just getting into and using. But some of the other ones, like these guys I probably won't need too many of. Pulverizers and induction smelters I'll be needing some of. I'm not too sure about the extra utilities ones. I'm not too sure. But we'll figure that one out when we get to it. For now, let's take a dive into here and see where we actually end up at. So, we need a mechanism electrolytic core for a crafting component. Now to get this is not cheap. It costs mithril ingots and redstone alloy ingots, which I have made. They're not difficult, they're just the red alloy we have, and some silicon. I think I made a couple of stacks of that. A sentient ender, which means I need to go get a witch. I think I can summon one with roots. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we also need these enhanced machine parts. So enhanced machine parts require electrical steel, an enhanced machine chassis, which is melodic alloy ingot, enhanced die blend. There's a whole chain here, but the melodic alloy ingots and the end steel chassis require end steel. This also requires popcorn fruit, which I should have some of. But end steel requires obsidian, dark steel, and end stone. So right off the bat, I'm going to get some of that stuff cooking up. I have a good amount of dark steel sitting in here. That should give me a stack of that, but we're going to end up needing a lot more than that. How quick is that? That's decently quick. But in order to make the rest of this stuff, most of the machines that it's going to get used in also require dark steel blocks. They require the enhanced machine parts. And these are all the stuff that we need to move forward. So if I can get ourselves set up with some of that stuff, I'll probably make some of the machine chassis. I don't think that we'll need any of the other stuff at the moment. These enhanced machine chassis we're actually going to need for upgrading the Ender IO machines, as well as I think we need them for some of the ore multiplication stuff later on. These enhanced machine parts we'll be using quite a bit of them. Yeah, we need them for the machine cases, which are our next machine, to make all of this stuff, which requires the plastic for industrial foregoing. So yeah, that's our next step, is powering through with all these. So I'm going to get some of this stuff crafted up. It's going to take a little while, but I'm going to get a few stacks of this, I think. Probably 3 or 4. And I will probably make 3 or 4 stacks of the other stuff as well. You know, I forgot I set something up over here a while back that we've had access to, and I just keep forgetting about. I'm putting the root stuff away because I'm going to take over this corner. We're going to change a little bit what we're doing today. I still want to get those machine chassis, but that stuff is taking a while, and I'm realizing that I need to do a few things. So, something I realized is I put stuff in here to make a spell. It's just been sitting here for a couple of videos, because the only thing we needed out of it was quartz burnt. But that gives us one of the spells. Now, it shouldn't be a 100% on this quest. We still have more of them to get, but a lot of these ones are locked behind other stuff. So this one's locked behind Guardian Diode, which I guess I could make right now. So I could get that one. Poison 4 potion. I don't think I actually can make that one. Oh, I can. Never mind. So we can make Acid Cloud. This one is locked behind Blood Magic. Just to start. I think Blood Magic is after Abyssal Craft. This one is locked behind Stellar Alloys and the Empowerer. And this one is locked behind Astral Sorcery. First start. Yeah. We have an extension spell, which I think, if I remember right, this could actually be super useful because it can give you night vision. I think. Hey. Okay, now I'm going to pick this up. So as I said, I'm going to change a little bit what we're doing today because I'm thinking that this little setup of stuff is a little bit slow. You can see I upgraded this and trying to get it to work a little bit faster. But trying to get all this stuff together is actually kind of slow, and I'm realizing that one of the things we need a large amount of is this pulsating iron. Because to make an enhanced machine chassis, we're going to get a little bit into the parts for this. What am I doing? I have it over here. To make this, we need the enhanced dye blend. So I have the melodic alloy ingots. I have 2 stacks. And the N-Steel chassis is just N-Steel ingots, N-Steel bars, and the Soul Machine chassis. It's just a bunch of this N-Steel ingot. which, as you can see, I'm making more of. But the dye blend requires these grains of piezoality, and mind you, this only gives you 2 at a time. Organic black dye, I should have a bunch in the system, but these grains of piezoality require a pulsating crystal, and it only gives you 1. I don't know if you can use a grinding ball to try to increase that or not. I will try. I have one that gives like 200% on stuff. Where are you at? Yeah, or 120% on main output, 215 on bonus output. And a benefit of a lower power usage, but the problem is that to get the grains of piezoality, you require this pulsating crystal, which is 8 pulsating iron around a diamond. With that in mind, to make a single machine chassis, to make 1 enhanced machine chassis, takes 4 of these, which means 2 of these recipes, which is 8 grains of piezoality. That is an entire stack of pulsating iron per machine chassis. So I'm thinking we're going to set up the automations and stuff, and I'm going to have things crafted between videos. It tends to be my thing. And we're going to start what I should have started a while back, which is the ore wall, or the alloy wall. I should really make more use of my builder. So we're going to set up an alloy wall over, or a set of alloy walls over here. Kyle, you're going to kind of get stuck in this corner for a little bit. There we go. We have our area. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to set up on these walls everything that we have for our ingots and alloys and stuff that we're using. I will set everything up. I've been working on collecting all the stuff for it. I'm going to have to craft all of the machines for them. But some of them are going to be easy and some of them are not. A lot of them will be easier, like electrum and bronze. Just shoving through an alloy smelter or an induction furnace. Other ones will not be as easy, like that red alloy ingot right at the top, because it needs a crafting step before you can make it. Almost everything else, though, should be pretty simple to set up an automation for. I don't expect to automate all of this stuff just yet, but some of it is going to be automated today. And I need to figure out all the machines I need for this stuff, which most of will probably be those induction furnaces, as only a handful of them actually require the alloy smelter. The red alloy ingot does require some sort of crafting mechanism, which is where these guys come in. And it's trying to figure out which ones we actually want to use. So I'm using one of these downstairs for our marble, and it seems to do okay. It's not super fast, but it does work. But the other option we have is the sequential fabricator. Sequential fabricator, which is an upgraded version of the formulaic assemblator, both of which only do 1 recipe. This only does 1 recipe, but it also doesn't have any actual inventory or anything. It just puts everything in the grid. Now, I can set up some of these to do like the red alloy, because it's just redstone and iron. And mind you, none of this is actually going to be fully automated yet. It's going to have to be semi-automated. But I think I know a cheesy way to get around it, and it just involves an extra drawer setup. But we'll see. And I have Enderium on here. We haven't made any of this yet, but it's not terrible to make, because we just have to alloy smelt with some sand, some Enderium base. There we go, we can just do it in an induction furnace. But the Enderium base is an alloy smelter itself with ender pearls, platinum, and lead. I don't have a solid source of platinum just yet. I have a good amount of it. So yeah, I have a decent amount of it right now, but I'm not comfortable just shoving it all through there to make stuff. Okay, we have our first wall here, and these are the items I have decided to put into it. We're going to go ahead and take a note on this clipboard as well about which items we need to import over here. Now, most of them are going to be pretty easy because I have like 1, 2, 3 of them that use iron, 2 of them that use gold. And the way I'm going to end up doing this is we're going to have a drawer controller. There's a controller right here that will actually hold all the stuff that's in this wall. But I'm also going to set up this guy here with a bunch of downgrades. So this can only hold a single stack of anything. And we're going to export items from the main system into here. And this is what's going to feed the system. And this essentially bypasses the interface requirement. For now. Once we get interfaces, this will go away. Just because I don't like having to store all that stuff in there, and I will minimize how much is actually in the interfaces for some of our more expensive items. That is everything just for this wall. That's 13 items. This is going to be a bit of a project. As you can see, I've got most of my stuff that I need to be able to do it. I do have this multiplayer pack. I've upgraded it, and it's just my conduit storage. It has definitely been coming handy. But I can come in here. I do have conduits placed on each of these. I can disable these ones, because those aren't going to be used. And the way we're going to set this up is these are all going to be on insert. I got to remember what's where. That is mob grindium, gunpowder, and that's that one set up. So this one should be open ingots, which is Demon Lord and paper. And I'm going to go through on each one of these and set up everything that it needs to be able to make these. Okay, moving over to this wall is going to be a similar concept. Although we're going to set up our crafting one on this wall, and I think we are just going to use that sequential fabricator that we have over here with a limited item filter. We're going to have the sequential fabricator. We're going to have the redstone furnace. And then we will have a drawer below it. Now, what we're going to put in these, I haven't decided yet. But this one is going to be the most interesting one to actually set up, and that requires the item conduits to go like that. Now, sequential fabricator, we're going to set you up that you are going to push out, down. And you are going to input from the back. Now you are going to need to clear all that, input from above and output down. Let's get this guy set up. So as I said, it's going to get a limited item filter. I've made one. And it's going to get iron ingots and redstone. I've decided what we're going to put here. We're going to put, where are they? One of these guys. Because it's going to get the redstone alloy ingots that go along with this. That means redstone alloy and red alloy. Now, if I know this thing right, I should be able to do this. Yeah, 2, and we'll say 16 redstone. And the way it's going to work is 8 redstone and an iron ingot. That is our recipe. Okay, here are our items that we're going to be putting in here. We have energetic silver, energetic alloy, lumium, signalum, and Oslo glass. Now, I'm not sure how well we'll be able to automate that one just yet, because I don't have this stuff down there fully automated yet. But I might see if I can fit one of these setups in over there as well, because there are... I know exactly what items I need down here. If you ever notice, I have these here. These are all the items that I need to be able to input. The only problem we're going to come up with eventually is being able to auto-craft the polished stone and GP powder. There we go. We have all that set up. Everything over here is actually good to go. What was the item I needed to import for this one? I think with that, everything over here is all set up. I just got to work on getting all of this pulled into the system over here. A lot of it is also going to be moved around within the system. And that is going to be our next challenge right here. So we're going to set up anything that needs to be pulled from the system within itself to go amongst themselves. Like the energetic alloy to the vibrant alloy is also going to get pulled. The red alloy ingot to the redstone alloy is also going to be pulled. And these ones will get pulled between each other. But I think for the moment that's all of them. Most of the rest of them are just kind of there. But in time, we will end up needing more of this stuff. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff moving around. And this may take a little bit. Okay, now I think it's all set up. I've got pretty much everything rolling into here except for this lunar reactive dust. Glowstone dust will be coming in eventually. It's being... There it is. And pretty much everything else is already in here. Which means now all I'm going to do is put an item conduit there and there. Now that is going to be set to... I'm going to have that set active with signal. No, I'm going to have it never active just for the moment. But this we're going to set to automatic, and we should see all of our machines start kicking on. Hey, I actually got some stuff working. Way to scare the crap out of me. Jeez. Kyle. We're gonna block that up for now. That is all our stuff over here automated. We're gonna go ahead and grab our ingots from right here, because I made a bunch of them for us. Because I do want to get into a little bit of our newer machines and things. And part of it is I just want to get through these guys. Because if I can get to plastic, the next time I can work to grind out all the stuff I need to get deep into all of this. But I'm going to try to get through just these guys today. So in order to do that, we need these Sentient Ender, which is a witch, and an Ender Resonator, which, yeah, I can make that. But it's these enhanced machine parts and machine chassis. So let's see if I can get myself up to these guys, because these are expensive. I should have access to everything in here. So can I make a bunch of these? We have our grains of piezoality. Go ahead and make our enhanced dye blends. Did that finish all of them? That gave me 12, which is enough for 3 enhanced machine chassis. But first we need to make these, which is in steel bars. That should be enough for 1. That's enough for 4. I don't know why I took them out of the drawers over there. I can see them over here. So in steel chassis. Let's do 8. I don't think these ones are used for anything, really. No, just the vibrant thrusters. But we'll have to automate them eventually anyways. And now we get our one enhanced machine chassis. No, we get 3 of them. Now one of these, one for now, we are going to make into these enhanced machine parts. And that means I can get... I gotta go through this stuff now, so I need an Enderman head, vibrant alloy, solarium, silicon. Now, some of the stuff that we're using over there, we don't quite have fully automated yet, so like our silicon there. We're running pretty low on that, but that's easy enough to get. Hey, 40K'd up. I just shoved some sand in there. And that gives me a bunch of silicon. Now, I get to go see if I can summon a witch. Of all things, I had to restart our root setup because I needed to make more of these catalyst plates. So I had to pull out the Grove Stone, I had to pull out the Runic Altar. We got our witches. We got our sentient enders. We are ready to make these electrolytic cores. I also made some more enhanced machine parts. Make 3 of those. Cross. Yeah. So that will give us access to these 3 machines, which we're going to need to make plastic. What does that give me? That gives me some mithril back. Okay. So let's see. We need the electrolytic separator. Import water into the machine and provide power to it as well. It will separate water into hydrogen and oxygen. Transfer these gases. Use mechanism pressurized tubes to store them. Use mechanism gas tanks. You can find quests for them to the right. Hey, pressurized fluid tanks from Ender.io. I'm not exactly sure which one we need specifically right now. We're gonna have to make all 3 of them, I think. Oh, look at that. 2 enhanced machine chassis. Let's make that first. Oh, we need an enrichment chamber and these ultimate gas tanks. We have our enrichment chamber and these. Ooh. Okay, these gas tanks aren't actually that bad. Just a lot of dark steel. A lot of dark steel. And we have 2 of those. 2 of those. And I'm out of dark steel. There are our 2 ultimate fluid tanks. And we can make our first machine. The pressurized reaction chamber. Now I think we have the stuff to make the rotary condensator. I don't remember if we... No, we don't have any of these in there right now. There, let's make a couple of those. And we need another ultimate gas tank. For the other machine is the electrolytic separator. We need 4 pressurized fluid tanks to make this thing. These are going to be expensive. Okay, we have those. I'm waiting on dark steel to be able to make the other stuff, but with that, we got 2 extra enhanced machine chassis. Very useful. The whole point of what we're doing here is to make plastic. In order to make plastic, we need these... Oh, fluid transposer. We need nutrient distillation as well. Great, I need to make a vat. What is it to make the vat? I think I actually have most of that stuff. And we have our vat. Not that I really expect to be using this all that much. I don't actually know how much we're going to be using any of this stuff, so... I know this stuff is not intended to be long-term. Let's see, how do I make this stuff again? Water with any meat or animal drop. And, oh, I have another wart. I have another wart on farming. And I should have plenty of meat stuff. Also, I have plenty of heads. Here, let's pick a head. Go ahead and see if we can do that. There, our vat is running. Okay, so we need this nutrient distillation. Don't need that anytime soon. We need 500 millibuckets for 4 HDPE sheets. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's finish making our other machines too. So the electrolytic separator. I need some dark steel ingot blocks. And everything else should be in here, because it just doesn't recognize them. We have our pressurized tanks to give us an electrolytic separator. Oxygen and hydrogen. And now for our last machine is the rotary condensator. We need that ultimate gas tank again. And there's our ultimate gas tank to give us our rotary condensator. And we have all 3 of our machines. Okay, so now we can start looking at how to actually make this stuff. That gives us pressurized fluid tanks. I don't think we're going to need. So we're going to need to make substrate, crush some organic materials into biofuel. I can do that with all the million saplings I have. And then we're going to put biofuel through a PRC with hydrogen and water to make substrate and ethylene. And these substrate will take liquid ethylene and oxygen to make HDPE pellets and oxygen, which we then craft into our HDPE sheets, or we can enrich for only 3. I think we'll do this method, which then get fluid transposed 4 at a time into our plastic. We got the electrolytic separator going. Now what comes out of which side, I have no idea. It took me 3 attempts to get water into it. We have 9,000 nutrient distillation. So that's something. I have to figure out how to get the hydrogen over here. It said something about using the pressurized pipes. Yeah, basic pressurized tubes. Can I see what you're pumping? No? You pumped oxygen. I don't need the oxygen for one of them. Yeah, and this one, but I don't need water. Ah. What the heck? So nothing goes through the front. Nothing will connect to the front. I hate this machine. I hate when they're this horrifically sighted. Okay, well that works. So that's got oxygen, that's getting hydrogen. Let's move PRC right here. This is going to be a very ugly setup for however long it takes to do it. There we go, we're getting our hydrogen and our water. Go ahead and grab some of the bio stuff I made. And that'll go through here. I still haven't made the second PRC. Ethylene. To make liquid ethylene goes into a rotary condensator, which is right here. It would help if I go to the right. Can't eject. Energy, gases, there we go. Output and auto eject. There we go. Now we're getting some liquid ethylene. Okay, so this is a fluid. So it should be able to extract like that and insert onto you. Yeah, there we go. And now this is the other one that needs oxygen. So gases should be insert on the back. Because as I said, this whole setup is supposed to be temporary. I'm just going to borrow this. We'll set you to input, output, auto eject. I should have a fluid transposer in here somewhere. Fluid transposer. And we're getting plastic. I like that. Now, I think I do need to pick up some of this stuff to complete the quests. I need some substrate. And pick up the substrate. And pick up the HDPE pellets. We want 6 of them. There we go. And put those back in there. Oh, I get some upgrades. I'll take the speed upgrades. And that means plastic. So we need our 2 plastic. By crafting, we're in the enrichment chamber. Definitely the enrichment chamber. But we have our plastic. That is an achievement for the day. On top of building a giant mess of auto-crafting ingots. I think we accomplished something today. I'll let this finish running through whatever it has. Anything that's left over, I'll just dump into storage or whatever. Like that. Already done. And I think we're pretty much out of stuff. These guys probably have some oxygen and hydrogen left over. I'm not really that worried about them. They'll end up getting used eventually. I really am not worried about inventories on these, because we can get all this stuff back. So, I think that is a good point for us to cut off for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I am going to clean up this mess, and then I will see you guys next time.